Good morning. So, what's love got to do with it? Thousand-Year War ended, I want to say 1,000 years ago. And that war, its effects last to this day, but its assaults have been renewed in recent times. That much should be obvious, but painfully it doesn't seem so. So, the Thousand-Year War on true love. It initially began in concert with the corruption of ancient manuscripts and the rewriting of temple traditions post conquest. Um, and then continued into the corruption of mystics themselves, priests, priestesses, um, and especially matchmakers. Now, it used to be a given that a royal was a reincarnated soul. Period. The idea that such things can't even be found in Disney movies anymore, but, Star Trek, the reality series, can be kind of fucking sad. But matchmakers used to determine fates of people and would analyze everything about them from their dietary habits to their birth day, year, time, everything, whatever. Okay. And based on this, soulmates kind of were down to a science, and people of royal lineage, it was their duty. It was the duty of non demigodic mortals to make sure that they found their appropriate matches. And it was the highest honor to be able to do so. I mean, you want to talk about powerful people in their own right, matchmakers used to be. Okay. Well, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And in these matchmakers, if corrupted, a conquering empire could see a great ability to, well, divide and conquer, to sow seeds of not only distrust, but of alliances. You can, I mean, you can pick your nose and you pick your friends, but you can't wipe your friends on the back of the couch. Wait, no, that's not it. Um, yeah. So anyway, so that gets down to marriage. Marriage is no longer what brings us together today. That dream is just a fucking dream. I'll stop. I'm sorry. Um, but basically, after matchmakers were corrupted, and in places where matchmakers were corrupted individually over time, well, conquest became easy. Matchmakers could be directly used as a tool to facilitate conquest. You know, the kind of conquest where you don't even need to fire a shot, or kind of conquest where you get people fighting amongst themselves. Like, sometimes, and this is one of the things that I think is mostly told only in fairy tales. Because again, this idea of true love was directly, consciously, politically targeted. What you have is true love's power, okay, versus the power of deception, okay? So it's love versus Mars. It's God versus the devil in some people's cases, some people's terminology. What? Um. So the true love of, say, a reincarnated princess who happens to be a muse or, some basically a lower goddess, a lesser goddess. Y'all insist on the hierarchy. That's not really something that we feel matters. Um, just where the buck stops. Anyway, you'd basically wind up having fate on the side of the woman or man that person A was supposed to marry. Person A, the key to the power of that individual land. And you can insert a lot of different lands over time into this, so I'm going to be very general about it. Okay? And person A would inevitably, even though the matchmaker was trying to hook them up with the target of corruption, would meet person B who they were supposed to marry. I mean, who they were soulmates with. Okay? And this happened in Kira and I's lifetimes, even. Wars were fought. Sometimes a rebellion of a common uprising was inspired initially by a man or woman's struggle for the true love of that person A, who is the key to the power of the area. And almost as many questions about individual stories and history can be asked of me, you can plug in that pattern and figure out what the truth actually was. And sometimes all you need to do is go by the names. If they didn't use the names, at least part of the name, or some semblance of the proper names, there wouldn't be enough power in their deception. Okay? You gotta take the bull by the horn, so to speak. So anyway, I do have a fancy little notebook right here that I bought about a month ago just for this purpose. And my couch ate it. I found it yesterday when I was looking for the title to my car. Because we had to take out a loan. Because we bought a brand new dryer. And the warranty expired a month ago. Some crap like that. And now, if it's not plugged in, it don't matter where the dials turn, the heating element stays on. So, man, going from a really, really old dry machine to a brand new one, it's like heaven. Like, I'm used to this. And this new thing was like, sounded like a little Toyota. We had a Toyota parked in the laundry area. And I'm used to a big block, just, anyway. So, Yeah, I have a new notebook. That count that as a long story short, if you will. Anyway, moving on back to the notes, whatever. So, education. Education was an early target of the war on true love. Okay, and it came in the form of physical education. And while sexual education is included in this, it's not limited to that. Physical education usually winds up requiring teenagers bathing together, male or female. Okay. Whether it's homophobia or homosexuality, sex is put on the brain, especially when it's competitive, sporting, testosterone, you know, physical education. It's supposed to be teaching kids how to exercise and stay in shape. What you're teaching them is who's better. Okay? What you're teaching them is Nietzsche. I don't know if I want my kids taught Nietzsche. Okay? I've seen Andromeda. I don't like what the Nietzscheans would wind up doing. That's funny right there. I don't care who you are. Well, wouldn't be funny if you hadn't fucking seen Andromeda, now would it? Anyways, moving on. So, as far as sexual education goes, I don't think anybody but me should be deciding when my kids get taught that. I think it should be an optional class that parents get sent the form. Okay, and I understand that statistics show that it reduces teen pregnancy and reduces transmission of STDs among younger children, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you can put that on the top of the form that you send to the parents to sign as an incentive for them to go ahead and sign it. Okay, but it still should be a choice left up to the parents. Should be some mandatory thing required. Um, but then, people can't just argue about stuff without name calling. So we got two sides, one with an idea and one completely against an idea, not putting forth a better idea. I'm really tired of that shit, just in general, no matter which side it's on. But it's usually, you know, Democrats have an idea and Republicans either have a name for it to make it sound bad, or they have another idea that will make that idea a lot shittier as opposed to a lot better. Anyways, ooh, the magnificent mini notebook of science just kind of magnificently slid the fuck down. Okay. Why are you getting lazy all this? Damn it. Okay. All right. There now. It appears to be stable. So, anyways, back to the unstable notes on the stable note card. Um, so on top of, and I think worse than when combined with sex education, is forcing children to study evolution. And, well, natural selection, the idea of it has been around for a very, 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 very long time. The idea that it's some kind of modern invention is just fantasy. Okay. And there's a reason why the phrase goes talking about the birds and the bees. Okay. Because to a certain point, species identification relevant knowledge should be taught to children as far as biology goes. There's no reason my kids need to learn the mating habits and the different meiosis, mitosis. They don't need to learn about that. If they're not going to be biologists, they don't need to learn about that. Most of them learn about that shit and forget it a couple of weeks later. So why are they learning about that? All it does is subtly psychologically manipulate them and make them feel like animals instead of spiritual beings. It's the war on true love, okay? And while this educational aspect has now become Darwinism and evolutionary theory that's considered quintessential to fucking medical knowledge, even though, very, very, very small percentage of kids become doctors, and they could learn most of that shit later. In fact, they have to relearn all of that shit later. I'm frustrated in real time and forgetting what the hell I was saying. How about that? If you want your kid to learn something that could be construed as based on an alternate faith, okay, and evolutionism dates back to every form of child sacrificing paganism. Okay, when real Christians say paganism, they're not talking about people who like to burn incense. Okay, talking about people who would barbecue kids. That's a fact, Jack. Get over it. Get over yourselves and your self-righteousness. There's this thing called civilization, and it wasn't always around, and it is currently in danger. Thanks to people just apologizing for everyone who's ever done a fucking bad thing and letting them all have their equal voices now. The fact of the matter is, there is good and there is evil in this world. I'm not painting things as black and white. That would just be silly. But to say that because things aren't black and white, you can't judge whether or not something is good or evil is a whole lot sillier. And it's not about preferences. It's not about identities. Judge them by their works. Are they trying to hurt you or anyone you love? Then fuck off. If they are, do something about it. Raise awareness. Become vigilant. That's what I'm asking of people right now. Okay? Judge them by their works. Basically, all I've done is teach the Bible. And that's all I'm going to continue to do. It's a good book. You should check it out. To that effect, I just think of something that I don't think is on the notes that I meant to bring up in the introduction. The Davinci Code. Why didn't they mention true love? Not only in the Davinci Code, but in any of the little documentaries or analysis. Nobody ever fucking bothered wondering, oh, well, if Jesus and Mary were married, then weren't they in love? What was their love like? Is that God of love? Is that related somehow?
Perhaps, maybe.
Back to the notes. So, in addition, and we're getting more and more modern as I go down this list, I think the things I'm listing kind of sound modern, but they're really been going on a long time. Okay, and they were invented during this war 1,000 years ago that went on for 1,000. And they were ways of infiltrating the Johannite societies or what is now only seemingly referred to as the Lanteans. It's funny how Lanteans were good guys, now they're bad guys. Should I feel special? The hate is gonna hate, 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 hate. You seen that cop video? Oh, that he's getting shit, get on. Shit. I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. Anyway, so I fucking brushed my teeth before this video. I'm kind of afraid to show them because it doesn't work. In my defense, I did kind of live in an Acura Integra after Katrina, and I will admit I didn't feel the need to brush my teeth that often. A, because toothpaste was, something that cost money. I have kept little tiny tubes of it. But yeah, I didn't eat very often. Just kind of drank water. And wasn't trying to waste my water. Brushing my teeth to clean the no food out of it. Anyway, moving on. Back to the notes. Yes. White horse. The name of the horse was Faithful and True. Accurate Integra. Got a video of got an image of the wreckage on one of my videos, I think. That's after I spun it on the highway because I had a bald tire. Front wheel drive car. Okay. But there's this one area on the interstate between New Orleans and Baton Rouge where there's grooves in the road. Okay. And about 300 meters in front of me, there were two 18-wheelers. I was trying to increase the distance just so I could see between windshield wipes. Okay. And tried to merge a little bit left. Like I was on the left lane, trying to get to the outside edge of the left lane. The grooves, trying to go from this little arc of the grooves to those little arc of the grooves. As I went this way, because I was not accelerating, which is what I usually do. Okay, the car just went, as soon as I hit that water, man. And as soon as I hit that, oh shit! And yeah, started spinning towards oncoming traffic. Little few brake gas taps, got it back on my side of the road. Didn't manage to get it to stop spinning or anything, though. Got it to slow down to spin just a little bit. Parachuted with the front wheels into the back of the trees. And boy, that Acura makes some great seats. I walked away from that. I mean, probably hit the tree at like 55 miles an hour. It was a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit highway. And it was wet. Anyway. So yeah, after that is when that photo was taken on one of my video icons. I forgot what fucking video it was. Just thought it was an interesting, relevant icon to put on the video at the time that I do not remember right now. Yeah. Back to the notes. Didn't I say back to the notes already and then I just kept rambling? Nice. Okay. So, one of these old things is media. Okay? And it's not about just basic corruption in media. It's not about just bad influences in media. It's about mixed influence. It's about confusion. It's about making them not know what to think. Teenagers. Developing minds. Okay? Free will has become a little too enhanced, let's just say. And at the point which no one can even tell really, and it seems debatable what is in fact the good example that is being set. Okay. In Houston, we have a problem. You know, you got on one hand the people that are supposed to be the Bible thumpers on the media because of the voices they put forth, because of the not judging them by their works, by judging them by their lifestyles, especially, seem like the bad guys. Okay. And it seems like the good guys spiritually that are left are, if they're actually Christians, are the highly capitulated ones who many online conspiracy theorists have seized the opportunity on and claim that they're Satanists. Eh, some of them could be. It's not your fucking business, though, is it? The fact of the matter is, it's all meant to confuse you. When they, during the awards ceremony, thank God for the opportunity to dance around half naked, it's about confusion, okay? But the reason why I say it's not your business to attack those individual celebrities is because those individual celebrities are no more guilty than the people watching them. They're just as confused as you are. Obviously. And overlooking the obvious is why you have a plank in your eye while you're trying to analyze the splinters in someone else's. It's the telltale evidence that you can find every single time when you just take a step back, and love what you think is your enemy. And see that they're not. Alright, so selective comedian support, selective comedic drama support, okay, that is get it's a pretty simple process, okay? Have an agent with a lot of money, go fund people that he likes the way they talk. Okay? But nobody wonders is why do they like the way that sounds? Why is that particular brand of comedy the one that sells? Is it just because it's the one that sells? Or does it have something to do with where these big wigs get their real orders from? And I hardly need to mention that we're going right back towards known places where those who say they are Jews and are not like to control things. Okay? That's why it's called media. So basically what they do is with the fashion industry is they undress the target. Literally. They make it fashionable to dress like a whore. Like, we have another video about, like, I think it's called Be Respectful. And it's, one of the points we make in it is if you're not a whore, don't dress like a whore. If you're not trying to advertise your body as meat for the market, why don't you cover a little bit of it the fuck up? Well, This imbalance has been sowed through avenues which are easily, directly traceable through communists and communist sympathizers. Shocking, I know. And it's always the countries that seem to be overridden with KGB, seem to be overridden with traitors and capitulators, that seem to be at the forefront of the fashion industry. Right now, where is it? It's Italy and France, isn't it? Japan tried, but it never really took. The decline of Japan's fashion industry went hand in hand with the consolidation of the effort against corruption in the Japanese local governments, the Yakuza. Actually, corruption within the Yakuza. And some smart shit was done. And, well, one of the things that Sitka is for, shit you don't know about, is to explain why the United States and Japan are such close friends. Okay? For starters, we never nuked them. And furthermore, I think it's really likely that they weren't behind Pearl Harbor. The historical events leading up to it are just too telling. And just to repeat what's been covered in other videos for new subscribers, 2 weeks before Japan supposedly attacked Pearl Harbor, we were giving orders to our local ambassador to instruct the Emperor of Japan that we would be sending him resupply if he did not sign a peace agreement with Stalin and continued their war against Russia. Russia had just seized Japanese Manchuria and continued further into Korea and had seized in the process many Japanese planes and ships in their shipyards. They took them by land. Interesting, isn't it? So we were telling Japan, keep fighting Russia. We're going to help you out. And then Japan turned around and attacked us instead. So you got two possibilities. One is either Russians that look like Asians, and there's lots of them. Okay, millions and millions. Okay. Used Japanese equipment to attack Pearl Harbor, or the Japanese promised Stalin, if you stop invading us, we will attack the Americans instead. Those are the two possibilities. All current theories are nonsense and inconclusive at best. And for some reason, bullshit surrounds even the conspiracy theorists' coverage of those events. Anyway. So, infiltration of lower clergy itself, not just, like the old high temple thing, but moving into more modern times. See, there's a lot of aspects of liberalism which seem to be left out of Christianity that are the inherent functions of Christianity. loving your neighbor, helping the poor. Okay? And on two sides, they have the liberal voices and they have the pseudo conservative voices. And these are really, I mean, you can't really say pseudo liberal voices because the liberals are just being bullshitted. Like the secret plan of the Illuminati video that I posted says they will, if Russia actually manages to conquer, just be lined up against the wall and shot. You and your silly ideas about freedom and public rights. And, like, most people with their idealistic interpretation of communism just need to wake up to the reality of it. Because those are not the droids you're looking for. They are not going to save you from shit. Okay? Only you can save yourselves. You're here. Do something. Vote, run for office, do something. Start a organization, start a movement, you know? Start a slogan, make some stickers. I don't fucking care. Just stop thinking that the people who our forefathers escaped from are the enemy and that you need to run to the conquerors who basically want you the fucking dead. Okay? So, related to the war on true love, well, what they do is they, right before any other type of conquest is happening, there's always, rather than debating the issues that are relevant to the dividing and conquering of that place, the issues that wind up being debated are issues that only further and divide and conquer people. And those are usually marriage related issues. Used to be about divorce, it's been about whether clergy could get married, it's been about gay marriage. It's the reason why we had the sense to have a separation between church and state was to prevent things like this from becoming topic of debate. Okay, it should be a no-brainer. They are people too. Give them rights. It's fucking appalling. And what you have is a clear strategy of sowing and then mocking seeds. They sow a seed on the conservative side, and they have the liberals mock it. They sow a seed on the liberal side, and they have the conservatives mock it. And these are movements without consideration of context. These are movements that are oppressive in their own rights. And people who want to get behind something need to analyze and make sure that other people's rights aren't being infringed, that other people's beliefs aren't being infringed as well. But it's a matter of the same topics that are selected by the comedic and the media support. Okay? It's, you know, if you're funny, you talk about divorce and racism and government paranoia. Okay, that's the same kind of people they want talking to becoming their liberal professors with books that sell really well that they fucking promote. Those are the kind of preachers that they want to get behind and help fund big giant churches, television channels just for themselves. Okay? Talk about divorce, talk about marriage, talk about race and racism, talk about being God's chosen people, talk about being the elect, talk about being better than other people in general. And talk about how the government can't be trusted. It's just full of a bunch of heathens and liberals. Well, if the government's full of a bunch of heathens and liberals, why don't some non-heathen liberals, that is true Christians, run for office? Oh, wait. Barack Obama already did. Oh. Name calling. The last resort of a desperately closed mind. Anyway, moving on back to the notes, blah, blah, blah. I think I've come to the end of my mini note card. Many notes. So, last but not least, the ultimate corruption of the idea of true love has come again in modern times in the same form that it used to. And it's in the not just philosophical, but social, general analysis of the sexes. Of men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know, girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and boys, I don't even remember what boys are, but it wasn't pleasant. And all men are dogs, all women are crazy. Just the natural state of things, right? All women cheat. They just get away with it. All men want to cheat, but they're too stupid to get away with it. These stereotypes are more than just racial, but they all still come from the same source, same sources. And it's not a matter of refuting whether an independent voice came up with these ideas. Of course, independent people come up with these ideas. It's about the money that promotes these ideas and makes them mainstream, that uses these ideas, which aren't properly accepted moral norms, and makes sure that so many different sources that have these similar ideas surround you by the media that your moral compass just squiggles about like a serpent. Okay? See, when thoughts are based on fear of the opposite sex, fear that you're not good enough, when thoughts are based upon fear, those thoughts speak louder than the heart. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.